Hello, welcome to this update for the Western Pacific and Indian Ocean. So let's see what's happening. For now, we just have Tropical Storm 24 on the Western Pacific, might affect some areas of Eastern Asia. Uh, some models show it going to like near the Philippines, and others take it further north near China. So we'll check where that will go, and we might have some systems brewing next week in the Bay of Bengal and some other areas. Maybe not tropical systems, but some heavy rain maybe later next week. So we'll check that as well. So let's see here the models for this first system, the Western Pacific. So here, first, bear show you the track, Tropical Storm 24. So the official track still has it turning to a typhoon and turning just north of the Philippines there, so affecting parts of the northern Philippines. And it does have this getting like to 70 knot winds, so there'll be a moderate typhoon or something. So yeah, now it's near Yap in Micronesia. It's just north of Yap, and might leave some more heavy rains on the western Pacific. So let's see. There's the GFS. It has this typhoon there, and then it does curve it into the northern Philippines. So this will be a category 1 or 2 typhoon in the northern Philippines. Then it would go there, and it kind of turns it towards China and dies out. So this is the GFS. So if this is true, the northern Philippines have to be on alert for this, and considering they just had a typhoon nearby, the one that hit Taiwan a few days ago. So another typhoon passing by those same islands might cause more trouble. So be aware there. Then the GFS does have another system forming later near Guam, and then it goes there, and it's like many days out. So don't trust the strength of this. The GFS is highly exaggerating, but just see the track. It has this by November 16th, kind of passing near the southern islands of Japan and curving out, and at the same time as another one forming and heading near the central southern Philippines. So the GFS is very excited with tropical systems forming. But let's see the European. It has the tropical storm there now. It has a very weak storm, tropical storm 24, but it does have this strengthening there, and then it kind of curves it towards the Philippines too, but it doesn't really go into the Philippines. Kind of curves south and curves back north and dissipates there. So the Europeans like the best case scenario for the Philippines. There's the icon too, shows the storm there. It goes, and then it kind of strengthens, and this model ends here. It doesn't go out further, but it might try to curve back down to the Philippines. There's the Canadian model too. It has this there, does pass just north of the Philippines in those islands there, and it's a little bit north than the GFS, but it does affect those areas. Then it curves, might affect Taiwan as well, according to the Canadian. And then it has that big low pressure system brewing across eastern China, like we mentioned in the winter weather video, and we said we will talk about it here. So it probably won't be tropical, but it does have like a big system there near South Korea by November 9th with a lot of rain. It probably might leave a lot of rain throughout Japan November 9th and November 10th. So, and after that, the Canadian does have a new tropical storm forming there by November 13th, and another one possibly further south there. So very similar to what the GFS had. Jesus, so this is the NavGen. It does show Tropical Storm 24 there now. Then it goes, it turns this into a very big typhoon and just scrapes the islands of the northern Philippines and might go north. So that looks big, but actually the strength of that's just still around category 2, 976. So yeah, so this is the NavGen, and be aware. they have the track here, like I showed you. So they just have like a typhoon, 140 km per hour gusts, as it gets potentially close to the northern Philippines. But we'll see what happens. Still nothing certain. So let's see here, maybe as some rainfall across those areas. So the storm is there now. It already passed Micronesia, and the European has this continuing north, so the storm will be there in the ocean. But meanwhile, does shows a little bit more downpours throughout the northern Philippines and more rain throughout there. Some in the central Philippines, some showers and thunderstorms. And then this the next 2 days and a half. In the next 5 days, it does show some areas of more tropical downpours, some islands of the central Philippines. It's hard to pinpoint where the heaviest thunderstorms will be, but generally just um, always be aware in all the areas and keep up with the forecast. So let's see. In the northern Philippines, the European does have like 100 millimeters from some downpours there, and some more tropical thunderstorms near the southern Philippines in some areas. So be aware. But this is the European. The GFS has this going towards the Philippines, so you can see that the path that this would take. So it goes like this, and then in the next 5 days, the GFS already has like 300 millimeters in the northern Philippines, 263 millimeters, 207 millimeters. So this would be a very bad scenario for the northern Philippines. But just the GFS is making landfall in that area. The icons like staying out to sea as well, and lingering there, but it has some downpours nearby. So be aware. Around Guam and those areas does show some passing showers and thunderstorms, but nothing that crazy. Like the European has some 40 millimeters in San Jose, so some 24 millimeters. So some showers and storms, be aware, but nothing that crazy. But it does have some downpours near Naha in southern islands of Japan, and near Taiwan there. So northern Taiwan has some rain too in other areas. So be aware those areas. Let's just see like if some other models have that system near Japan later. So maybe here like the GFS does have the typhoon there in the Philippines and dissipates, but later doesn't have much. Like the Canadian model had a system in eastern China. It does have some more storms near central southern Japan, November 9th and 10th, but then yeah, it goes there. But later, the GFS does some crazy stuff, those typhoons. There's the European model, the 0Z maybe, shows the storm there, and it does have like, it doesn't have that system in eastern China. It does have a wave of moisture throughout central southern Japan there, November 9th. So it would have, there would be more heavier showers and storms throughout southern central Japan, November 9th and November 10th. So yeah, be aware those areas. And it's like if that happens, the rain accumulation till November 11th, the European model does have like 167 millimeters, parts of southern Japan, 105 millimeters, 92 and 87 millimeters, more like central Japan in some areas, so 62 millimeters, 21 millimeters, 31 millimeters. So be aware those areas. And this is until November 11th. If you would just put this until November 8th, it just show like some 26, 35 millimeters, like I showed you in the winter weather video. So be aware in those areas. Keep a close watch at this in the northern Philippines. But now we have some other areas of flood threat still in Vietnam. Shows more heavy rain and flooding in the next few days. This is the European model, still showing like 400 millimeters, 300 millimeters parts of Vietnam in the next 5 days. Shows in eastern Laos more than 100 millimeters as well, but considering all that rain that already happened in Vietnam, uh, plus this, there might be more flooding there. So be careful. Uh, and always, when you see flooding and heavy rain, stay safe and have a plan. So yeah, shows more not way to like south central Vietnam, more than 100 millimeters. Some other tropical thunderstorms in southern Vietnam, some tropical downpour too, central Cambodia, some more storms there. So be aware. The GFS also has more than 100 millimeters through central Vietnam, and all the way into north central Vietnam. It does have like 300 millimeters and 200, 100, so please be careful. There's also uh, the excess. It does have in the next 5 days close to 177, 200 millimeters in parts of Vietnam. There's the icon. It does have a little bit less, but it does show some areas of 200, 100 millimeters in Vietnam. So stay safe, be careful with flooding and heavy rain if you are there. So this is the map from the European, shows some storms today there, and then this is Sunday, then Monday tomorrow. That does show more storms throughout northern, central northern Vietnam, not northern like near China, but like central Vietnam. Shows some storms in Laos too, so beware parts of central eastern Laos. And then shows more scattered tropical downpours near Cambodia, southern Thailand, and southern Vietnam. But shows that heavy rain continuing central Vietnam, some more periods of heavy rain, more thunderstorms in other areas. This will be already Wednesday, still some heavy rain in Vietnam and in some areas, and later it calms down in Vietnam, but still some areas of tropical downpours. So be aware, be careful in Vietnam. There's like let's see, yeah, just Western Pacific to see the opinions of some other models. So there's the Canadian model too that we don't have there. So it does show like uh, until November 7th. It does have some parts of Vietnam close to 125 to 150 millimeters, a spot or two close to 200. Southern Vietnam it does have some heavier downpours as well, so be aware. Those areas, most models are showing some very heavy rain. There's the GFS as well, it shows those storms in Vietnam, shows more around southern China, in Hainan, some areas, those are occasional heavier showers in Cambodia, and then show like the rain continues in Vietnam, more heavy rain there, and all the way to south central Vietnam by the end of this week. So stay safe in those areas. Be careful with flooding. And now let's take a look at our next flooding threat. So now it's kind of quiet in parts of Myanmar, Bangladesh, and those areas, but we might have a disturbance brewing that will bring some heavier showers and storms. Shows a storm or two on Monday, tomorrow, Myanmar, Bangladesh, but the European really kicks up the thunderstorm activity. Like Wednesday the 6th does have a low pressure spinning the Bay of Bengal, and then it has some heavier showers and thunderstorms throughout Myanmar on like Wednesday the 6th, and kind of continues until Thursday the 7th, shows some very heavy downpours, central southern Myanmar, in southern China, this area is southernmost China, and BR, this is Thursday, the next Friday the 8th, still some heavy rains near Myanmar, and might uh, go near northeastern India later on Sunday the 10th, and near southern Bangladesh later in the other week. So be careful in those areas. There's like the GFS shows those storms there setting up around Myanmar. This is Tuesday the 5th. Wednesday the GFS is some heavier storms northernmost Thailand, northwestern Thailand, and throughout central eastern Myanmar. So these downpours could be heavy and cause some flash flooding in some more areas of possible flooding. So be careful. So like Thursday the 7th, more there. Those areas of southern China should get more as well, and then this kind of stops. So be aware. There's the icon. shows like a storm or two on Monday, Tuesday some more storms in Myanmar. Wednesday does have some areas of heavier downpours, southern China and Myanmar, and around the Andaman Nicobar Islands, some more storms in the Bay of Bengal. And then Thursday, the 7th, still more storms in northeastern Thailand, eastern Myanmar, southern China, and northern Laos, and still has by Friday some more storms near southern Myanmar. So be careful in those areas, and the disturbance might approach India later. So after like November 10th or something, November 9th. So be aware of those areas. Now the rain accumulation from the system, the European model does have more than 174 millimeters in Myanmar, 115 millimeters in other areas. Northeastern Thailand, so like 74 to 80 millimeters, and it has like those areas of Myanmar close to the coast, more than 120 millimeters. Southernmost Myanmar, 165 millimeters, 145. Marcos, China there, southern China 96 to 100 millimeters. Uh, Central to western Myanmar, so be careful in those areas. Be careful with river flooding too, especially in Vietnam and parts of Myanmar, and stay safe. It does have some storms near Bangladesh, but very little. Northeastern India and southern India still those like tropical downpours, but not not really that much. So in Sri Lanka, a little bit heavier, so close to 8 millimeters some areas. In the Maldives, alright, more passing showers and storms the next 5 days. Like the northern Andaman Nicobar Islands might have close to 100 millimeters too. So be careful out there in the Bay of Bengal. Right at the coast of western Thailand shows more tropical downpours from time to time, and throughout Indonesia, though like tropical rains and some heavier tropical downpours, Kalimantan, Sumatra, and my areas there. Be aware of those like tropical downpours with rain, wind, and some lightning during the day, especially, and even at night. Malaysia shows some areas of 100 millimeters and more there, so be aware. Western Guinea shows some more as well, some tropical downpours, and yeah, be aware in those areas. Now the GFS model, it does have similar to the European, more than 172 millimeters through eastern Myanmar, northeastern Thailand, so be careful there, southern Myanmar, and if you zoom in closer, it does have all the way to 195 millimeters, northeastern Myanmar, northeastern Thailand, and southeastern Myanmar, so northeastern Thailand, like eastern, southeastern Myanmar. So be careful. And so like 193 millimeters northeastern Thailand, be careful for there. And much of eastern Myanmar into southern China. It has some spots like southern China too, more than 100 millimeters in many areas. In southernmost Myanmar, at the Bay of Bengal, there's like 193 millimeters and some heavier downpours in those areas. So be careful. There's the icon too. It doesn't have as much as the other models, but it does have like 109 millimeters, some 88 millimeters, and more in the Bay of Bengal there. Be careful in those islands, and yeah. And here, let's see the Canadian model. So it does have there like Sunday, Monday is storm or two in Myanmar. Those more tropical downpours you see in like Cambodia, southern Thailand, and Indonesia, and in Malaysia there too. Then there's like Tuesday, some stuff in Myanmar, southern China still right on Wednesday, some heavier downpours, eastern southern Myanmar and southern China, especially on Thursday the 7th. Not late on Thursday, but like late Wednesday into Thursday, the heavier downpours in Myanmar, the Canadian model shows too. And yeah, and later into India, southern India, still some thunderstorms. But be careful in Myanmar there. Uh, let's see. The rain accumulation will will take a while to load from that model, but I'll show you in a second. So be aware those areas, and as you see here, most of central India is dry. Alright, most thunderstorms are in southern India, and like in the Maldives, shows some passing showers and storms from time to time. So be aware there. some passing showers and storms. And yeah, so here, let's see. Not yet. So I'll show you something interesting here. We are watching for the southern Indian Ocean. So this tropics hazards outlook does have week two some probabilities of 20% tropical cyclone formation, part of the southern Indian Ocean. But week three, November 13th through the 19th, they already have a 40% chance of a tropical cyclone forming in the southern Indian Ocean. For now, it only shows like out to sea there, but we better watch this like the mid of November or something. So yeah, be aware. And let's see, still the unload. Let's see if I put a little bit earlier. And what else? So as you can see on the model too, those tropical showers and storms around Indonesia, Malaysia, and like some small areas like Brunei and some areas there. So be aware in the Philippines. So this mainly it. Let's see if it loads now. If not, I'll just like show you here maybe for India. So better to show it here. This is the Canadian model until Saturday, November 9th. So it does have like in Myanmar there, but it only has like close to 100 millimeters in a spot or two. It doesn't have like 150 millimeters like the European and the GFS have. It only has like, but it does have a big area of more than 50, 60 millimeters. But just southern China, close to 90, even 100 millimeters in spots in southern China and, and Myanmar. So be aware. But it does have some more tropical downpours in Indonesia. There, as you can see, some areas of 100, even 200 millimeters in a spot or two in Sumatra the next 6 days. And then it shows in Sri Lanka and southern India as well. So be careful in those areas. And yeah, let's see. The temperatures are a little bit cooler at night, parts of India, nothing crazy like 16, 17 degrees, but during the day comes back up again to like 31 degrees, 30 degrees in many areas, and Pakistan still hot in some areas there, some 38, 37 degrees, 35. So yeah, be aware, especially a day or two in Pakistan. There's like 36 to 38 degrees in Western India and those areas, and even some low elevation areas in southern Iran there. So be aware and be careful with those